Hello and welcome to another video. So today is going to be another One Piece video. Me reading the next arc of One Piece, which is called the Little Drum Island arc. So it is from volumes 15 to 17, so we are going to finish volume 15 and it is right up to mostly the end of volume 17. So I'm going to do these vlogs a little bit different. What I've wanted to do for a while is read through the entire arc and then sum up my thoughts at the end. So we're going to try a little bit of a different style because I feel like even though I'm vlogging throughout, I'm not giving my thoughts in a kind of consistency that I want to. We are going to start with chapter 130. So I am going to read through up to this and I will see you when I have read this next arc. That was an intense volume, so I finished volume 15 and I will see you tomorrow for volume 16, and then the next day I'll be reading volume 17 and then I will wrap up my thoughts of the whole arc. This is just to say I am going to make my way through volume 16. Can I just say I have just finished volume 16, and why do the backstories they're always insane all my life. That's all I have to say so far, but I will see you tomorrow for volume 17. Ooh, just wow. It's time to do my reading bit of the arc, so I've marked up to where I am finishing, and yeah, so let's get this next arc finished. Really dark in here actually. So I have just finished the arc and wow, I have a lot of thoughts on it. So I will see you in the next clip where I have gathered all my thoughts and I will hopefully be more presentable than in my pyjamas. But yeah, I think someone said in my last video that the next two arcs are one of the best in this series, and yeah, that last arc was really fun. That's all I've got to say. That was fun, and I feel like because this is coming to the end of the next saga, I can tell that this is going to be a big one. Well, hello. I have finally finished reading the Drum Island arc of One Piece, and I've got to say this is definitely one of my favourite arcs. It's not as good as the Arlong Park arc. I think that is always going to be my favourite arc of the entire series. Nothing could beat this. But this arc had a lot going on and we have a new character. So let's get into my thoughts and feelings. We first start off with Nami has caught a fatal illness and she's fallen ill. So they need to find a doctor. So everyone comes up with a plan that they need to get to Arabasta really quickly, but the Queen says we need to find a doctor quickly and then get to Arabasta. So I think that really just shows how kind-hearted she is, and just like her as a character, she like really cares for her people. So they start sailing and then they come across this other group of pirates and this other user, and he starts eating their ship because he starts attacking them. And so it's another devil fruit user. So at first I thought, is this gonna be some sort of reoccurring villain? Turns out it's the villain of the arc. So I didn't expect to see the villain of the arc so soon. As to why these other pirates are out, we'll get into that in a bit. So they end up sailing to this island. This island does not have a name. So because they're flying because Amerigo is flying a pirate flag, the islanders do not want, and all the people of the kingdom do not want pirates to come across, because all the crew start begging and like doing the Japanese bow and like beg that they need to find a doctor. And it turns out there is only one doctor and she lives on top of a mountain like quite far away. So they're told by Dalton, the leader of this group, that that's where the doctor is, and Nami is really ill. The crew will arrive on the land and so they have to make headway up this mountain. So I think it's Luffy carrying Nami and Sanji going up because Zoro decides to just stay where he is, and then Viv stays in the town and so Luffy goes with them, and there's a lot of things standing in their way, like these snow rabbits. And then the villains from earlier, so the fruit user who can eat anything, appears, and it turns out he used to be the king of this kingdom, and he took all the doctors with him, and he wasn't a very good king, which is why Dalton led a rebellion against him. We'll get more into that in a minute. Luffy ends up climbing up the mountain, and we're introduced to the doctor. So we're introduced to this doctor called Koheha. She dresses quite cool, and she's like over 116 years old or something like that, and she has a reindeer called Tony Chopper, and we'll get into his character in a minute. So we do have a chapter introducing her where she goes into the town because she's been seen coming down from the mountain. So we see her coming down from the mountain, and she this boy is saying that his tummy hurts, and she helps him feel better and then charges interest. And so Luffy's making his way up to this mountain, and it's a dangerous way, and he collapses, but luckily he is found by Koheha, gets taken in, and luckily Nami makes it, which is a good thing. And it turns out that she was bit by an insect, because they were at the previous island, they were in a warm climate, and she got bit, and she was walking around with a low-cut top on, and so she got bitten by an insect, which is... So luckily Koheha treats her, even though she's still got treatment for a few days, and Luffy and Sanji are being treated, and then Luffy's running around in shorts and a top, and he's freezing, so he steals Nami's coat at one point. That's not really important. So then we're introduced to Tony Chopper, who is Koheha's reindeer assistant, but he is the main focus of this entire arc, and I just really like his character. He was a reindeer, he was born as a blue-nosed reindeer, so he's a type of reindeer, and he was already ostracised by his family for having a blue nose. And then one day he eats a devil fruit, so there's different types of devil fruits. So the main villain of the king comes back. Tony's quite rude to Luffy and all the crew, because he doesn't really trust humans, and then they're like, what's his deal? Because he's because he ate this fruit, he can turn into a half man, half reindeer thing, and he has 3 types of transformations, as we're told later on, but he has special types of transformations. And he gets injured. He got injured, so Koheha tells us his backstory about what happened to him. And why do all these characters have such sad backstories? So Koheha tells us that he ate this fruit and he got injured because he got attacked by someone, because he tried to go to humans but they didn't accept him because he couldn't find a place to belong. And so this quack doctor, so yeah, you see their bond forming, and unfortunately the doctor is very ill, and he kicks Chopper out after he's healed, because it's been over a year, and he's like, you healed, and then Chopper tries to get injured and stuff, but he doesn't want to leave because this doctor is his best friend almost, and he tries to get a cure, and he sees in a book, because he wants to be a doctor just like his friend, and he sees some mushrooms that have the same symbol as the pirate flag, which is what the doctor had spoke about. And yeah, these mushrooms were poisonous, and the doctor probably knew that, and Dr. Koheha tells him, and then Tony starts crying. I mean, the doctor is what named him Tony Chopper. I love his name, by the way. It's great. It's a great name, because he wears the doctor's hat. Apparently there's a medical emergency, so this is still in Tony Chopper's backstory, and it's not. They just wanted to get to the doctor. They just wanted to kill the doctor. So King Wapol just wants to get rid of the doctor because he's a wanted criminal. And Tony Chopper tries to defend him, but tries to go and help him, but the doctor kills himself before he can die. And because of the doctor dying, that is what caused Dalton to rebel against King Wapol, because King Wapol is a horrible ruler. Vivi, he was inspired by her as well, because she cared about her people, so that's how she ties into all of this. The arc felt like Tony's arc to finally get revenge on King Wapol. Luffy and crew were just there to get Nami to get better, and they help him, and it's what Luffy says to King Wapol that really inspires Tony. Like, and Tony, I think, he starts to see Luffy in a new light, and he sees like, oh yes, this is why I want to join them. So he wants to be a good doctor, so he joins them. And like, Kuhira's not very happy about that, because they do a battle with King Wapol, and it's over pretty quickly. It's not, he wasn't a very intimidating villain. So we have a new member of the crew, which is Tony Chopper, and I don't know, interesting. But so there's just a few things to clear up. I thought King Wapol was a bit of a weak villain, to be honest. I think he was just kind of there to be an obstacle. I didn't really, he was just being evil for the sake of being evil, to be honest. I don't know, I just didn't really care for him, to be honest. But I did care for Tony getting his revenge at last, finally, and the kingdom finally getting revenge against him, and everything seems good. So the kingdom actually does get a name, and it's called Sakura, which is after Dr. Haylock's will of wanting to cure all diseases with the Sakura blossoms. And I just thought that was sweet, and just like a way to honour his memory, because Tony wants to become the best doctor ever and cure all diseases, and he's just carrying Dr. Haylock's will, and I just really like that aspect of Tony's character. There are two things I want to just quickly talk about before I wrap this up. So this guy told some of them, Dalton or someone, I can't remember who it was, that if there's a guy coming through here with the wanted poster, because they found the wanted poster for Lucy, tell him that he'll be waiting in Alabasta. I'm wondering if that's Luffy's father. I don't know, just a thought, because the character looked very similar to Luffy. That seems like that's his father to me. And we finally got to see one of Sir Crocodile. He showed up in the last chapter of this arc, and feel like the next arc is going to be the final, so I'm excited for that. I'm more excited about that, but I really enjoyed this arc, so Tony's going to help them. But yeah, it felt like it was his arc, and definitely one of my favourite arcs. So, but I am hyped up for the next arc. I have no idea when I'm going to be reading that, hopefully soon, because I just want to finish the Arabasta saga, and that's the next saga wrapped up. But yeah, so those are just my thoughts. Like I said, I really enjoyed this arc, nothing much to it. There are a few things I could talk about that, like, it's already going through a swim. This doesn't seem really plot relevant, to be honest. I think it was just a bit of character development there, but yeah, you can just see the crew bonding together, and I'm just excited to see how Tony becomes part of the crew. I think I'm gonna like his character. We'll just see how it goes. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and comment down below if there's anything you want to add, or do a One Piece discussion, and I will see you next time. Bye.